What's going on, everybody? It's me, Brandon Cordovas. I just want to let you know I am a One Piece YouTuber. I do manga reviews, and I would love to expand upon it more. If you guys want to just tap into it, by all means, feel free. We're out here in chapter 1109. It's titled Interception. This chapter is, by all means, one of the greatest chapters in arguably one of the greatest arcs of arguably one of the greatest animes of all time. So as we move forward with this, I'd like to first announce that I am a real estate agent with Keller Williams, and if you guys need any assistance in the state of Florida, my license can cover that. And I can also refer you to any agents that are licensed in any other states or globally. So by any means, feel free to reach to me for your safety and comfort for any of your real estate needs, whether that's commercial, residential, industrial. Moving forward though, let's slide. Page 1. Come on, Stella. You can't just start this up out of nowhere. What do you mean, Shaka? Now, surely the audience will need to be adequately prepared to hear it. So we are in the labial phase where Dr. Vegapunk is talking to Shaka. And he says, they're going back and forth. And he says, you really think that's necessary? Some intelligence agency will pick it up and it'll spread across the world by the next day. So are you certain about that? What if they manipulate the information? What is it? What is that? Where is it coming from? Now the Marines are hearing everything. Not just the Marines. We're going to move forward in here. And we're going to see a lot. So we see, a good point. So what do we do? Moving on to the next page, we see, I'll relay the signal through every naval base in the world. So all the naval bases right now, they're like, the Navy's like, turn that off. We don't want to hear this. This is crazy. And the Navy officer's like, no, I can't turn it off. And we cut back into what they're saying in the radio. It says, and force them to output at maximum strength. The transponder snails can receive audio signals, but the visual transponder snails will take time in order to be set up for viewing. I suggest giving them an interval of 1 hour. And then we see Saint Saturn, in his awakened form while he's being palmed by Gear 5 Luffy, saying, what are you going to tell the world, Vegapunk? And then we get to the next panel. It says, that's Vegapunk, right? That's from Nami. And we see in the radio still, it says, Shaka saying to Vegapunk, 1 hour, that seems so long. So long, in fact, that it will give those who might not want this message heard the time to interfere with it. Great point here. So very well, let us set the preparation period for the message to 10 minutes. That's what Vegapunk says. And by the way, we're hearing this all in this video where Vegapunk has died. So it's more like Vegapunk created this with no edit and just said, all right, this is a one-time thing. I'm going to say it exactly how I want to say it, just as passionately as I want to say it, and it's going to come out here. And that's where we're at. So now Sanji's holding Vegapunk's body right now. He's looking at him and he's like, "Isn't that your voice, Vegapunk? Hey, wake up." And Vegapunk saying, "You hear that, world?" And we now get a transition to Saint Saturn, where he's being palmed by Gear 5 Luffy. He gets telepathy like signals to his brain over from the sacred Mary Joa. And they say, "Saturn, what happened with Vegapunk? What is that signal? Someone explain this now." And then Saint Saturn says, "Kizaru killed him. He should be dead now. I think I saw it." And they say, so he set up this message to play in the event of his own death, most likely. And who knows what he might say. If we can find the source of the transmission, I can't imagine it's coming from anywhere but the Labophase on Egghead. And it's protected by that barrier. So, 9.5 minutes to kill. What now? As we get a transition from the Gorosei. Now, the Gorosei are in a planning period. They're going to head out. They're going to head over to Egghead. They are basically game planning right now. And now we cut back to the Labophase, where Edison says, "So 9.5 minutes to kill, what now? Want to invent something? I'm rather busy. Why not have some coffee?" Alright, so we know that this transponder snail is directly going to all the Marines, going directly to, the Celestial Dragons, the Gorosei, but this is also going to the world. So we're getting transitions of the world now. So we cut to Dressrosa, the new world. We have random citizens just saying, "Did you hear that? This is wild. The legendary Dr. Vegapunk is sending a message to the entire world. Bring out the visual transponder snail. Set up the big screen. Hurry, we've only got 10 minutes." Then we cut over and we see, is that the Professor Luffy land? Took hostage. What's going on over there? Oh, Leo, did you really believe that horrible article about Lucy calculating the likelihood of signal jamming? The picture's up. Is that Vegapunk? So we just getting some, dialogue from our past people in the Dressrosa arc. Good to see Rebecca is still training. And then we see Windmill Village in East Blue. We see, what's this? I thought the news about was about Luffy getting up to trouble again. A visual transponder snail. I told you our village needed one, mayor. And the mayor says, "And who's going to pay for it?" This is Whoop Slap. He says, "Their food isn't free. You'll get by on sound alone, and you'll like it." And they say, "Aw," But then we cut over to Water 7, where it's actually pitch black. It's nighttime. And we hear Alice, Iceberg's secretary, saying, "Wake up, people. Huge news." So Iceberg's like, "Yeah, oh my, set up the video at once, Alice." And Alice is like, "Yes, sir, I'll have it shown in the room next door. I've also set up screens in each ship building dock. Although it's the middle of the night, given the apparent importance of this event, I've already delegated contact of all residents so that they can be ready to view the video within 10 minutes. Anything else? Then we cut over to the World Economic Journal HQ. So this is where we get Big News Morgan, we get Vivi, and really just some more of this. So we got, what's the signal about? It's an independent source being relayed by the Navy. Does it say where Luffy's crew is going? Look at the clock behind them, fool. That's not the current time on Egghead. This is a recording that was made in the past. There's currently a buster call happening over there. So the place is burning to the ground as we speak. I'm sure of it. Now, we cut over to the West Blue. But before we do that, I just want to say, I do want to see what Big News Morgan has to say about that. About the news that we're going to get. But yeah, getting to West Blue, we see... So that's the real Dr. Vegapunk. Look at his head. His mind's so sharp it cut itself. That's funny. And then the North Blue, it says, the man who brought light to the world. And the South Blue saying, what's so important for him to say to the entire world? Is it the invention of the century? Then we cut over to Kamabaka Queendom, where we get the coffee will... Oh, okay. Well, we cut over there, but when we cut over there, we see some more of the recording of the 10 minutes. And we see, so the coffee will take 10 minutes to brew. Then I won't have any time to drink it. I calculate the chances of jamming are exceedingly low. So a little joke as we cut over to the Revolutionary Army. Also symbolizing in a way like the Revolutionary Army is a cool guy, cool people and funny, chill, laid back with Dr. Vegapunk. Anyways, we see Ivankov say, what does Vegapunk think he's doing now? And why is his noggin so slim? And then we see the rest of the crew say, is that the Dr. Vegapunk we're all talking about? And he's streaming a message in the middle of this whole ordeal. And we got Dragon and we got Sabo with the ... So, a lot of memes for that. And then we see Dragon reminiscing on the beginning of this arc where Shaka had said, I suspect that my death is imminent. So we cut back over to Egghead now, and we got Luffy being Luffy, just playing around with Saturn and Kizaru. Kizaru has eyes as light beams, and Saturn is in his awakened form, like I said. Luffy says, whoa, and from now until the moment all my friends get away, I'm keeping you guys right here, gum gum. And then he says, Dawn. And then he says symbol, and he smacks with his left hand and his right hand Kizaru and Saturn together and compresses them, flattens them up, and then he turns them both into paper, like as thin as paper, like pizza, spinning them around. And he says, if you just bounce back from anything I do, let's see you bounce back from this. And he tosses them into the ocean, where Kizaru slams into a ship, just playing around, really. And Saturn actually boomerangs himself back to Luffy. Luffy says, what? With his eyes popping out. How come nothing I do damages him? So, yeah. Then we get Admiral Kizaru, what happened? Are you alright, Admiral? Huff Huff. Kizaru looking really, really in pain right there. And we see Saturn really bouncing back. So he's saying, there's no time, Saturn. Vegapunk must not be given license to speak. Whoa, close. There it is. That's our ship. I hope Vegapunk and them are alright. And we really see the ship from the Giants pull up. And then we see Saint Saturn say, I'll make the summons. And they said, good. And he summons all 4 other elders. And we're into the last panel where we see, what's that? Black lightning. What's that? And then, yeah, that's the same thing as when the Spider-Gram showed up. So, that's the end of chapter 1109. Thank you for tuning in. It's been one hell of a ride. This chapter alone is, in my opinion, a 10 out of 10. Broke the charts in exceedingly ways. And we're just going to new levels. Always just going to new levels. So, love y'all, man. Let me know what y'all thought about the chapter below. Have a good one.